Hi. All right. This is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and I am with.
Dave from Rampant Wolf Games. And today we're going to talk about the top 5 die placement games.
One of my favorite mechanics, as it turns out.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. I mean, there are better ones out there, but it definitely falls in the top 5 for me.
All right.
Starting with number 5 is Star Trek 5-Year Mission.
5 of 5.
This game we've talked about lots before in other videos, but basically they took a good mechanic.
We're the only people who like this game.
Apparently.
No, the game actually, we laser in on the Dice Tower review as being overly negative, but the point is, it's a good game.
It is a good game. I mean, they took roll for it and they made it better. I mean, that's basically all it is.
Made it cooperative.
Yeah, well. It made it cooperative and had a point to it. I mean, really, honestly. So yeah, that's number 5 is Star Trek 5-Year Mission.
The number 4 for top 5 die placement games is a game called Sagrada. Now, Sagrada is a beautiful game that has production quality well above what is required. It's a classic die placement game with a common level of mechanics, but it's the beauty of the game, the majesty of these crystal-like dice, and these beautiful little tableaus you build up. It is a beautiful game. It is a great gateway game. We mentioned gateway games on another list. We put that on the list. Sagrada is really fun. It's a great way of getting people into gaming and then slowly stepping them into the number 2 game on our list. So it's a great game to start off with. I think it's a fun game. I don't really have anything against it other than the fact that it's simple, but it's a great simple. I absolutely love it. That's Sagrada.
And by number 2, he actually meant the number 3, which is what we're going to go to now.
That's what I meant to say is number
which is Roleplayer, which basically is using the same mechanics that Sagrada does, but in a better way. It's making a game out of making your character for D&D, basically, is what it is. You're rolling, you're trying to assign those dice to get your attributes to a certain level. You're trying to move your alignment around. You're trying to achieve certain quests based on where you're putting your dice in your attribute lists. It really is. When I heard what it was, role player, you're rolling dice to create your player. That sounded so dumb.
For me, the moment I heard that they made a game entirely based around character creation, I immediately went, "Damn it! Why didn't I think of that?" I'm glad they did it right, because if they did it wrong, I would have really been angry. But they made a really good one. Skip the expansion. The expansion isn't very good. I'd also play with the alternate rules. I think they're stronger. But yeah, I totally agree. Role player.
Yeah.
Number 2, getting this list properly in my head. Number 2 on the list of top 5 die placement games is one of my favorite games of all time, which is a game called Alien Frontiers. Alien Frontiers was a game I adopted quite early. It is a fantastic sci-fi game, great little art, wonderful visual aesthetic. I love the fact that your ships are the dice, and every single turn, no matter what you roll, you will always be able to put them somewhere to advance your progress of the game. I love it dearly. It helps that I never lose the game, and I know that eventually it's going to come and bite me in the butt, and I know there's going to be some point where I'm like, this game sucks. He's like, you lost, didn't you? Like, yes, I did. But yeah, Alien Frontiers, there's a big box version. The Factions expansion is absolutely a great idea. Definitely recommend picking that up. It is a fantastic game. That is Alien Frontiers, which this man has not played.
No, I did.
You have?
Yeah, I have the big box. It's right there.
A game that this man has played, but for some reason doesn't seem to enjoy it as much as I do.
No. Number 1 for top 5 die placement games is Pandemic: The Cure. Now,
compared to the band The Cure.
Yeah, compared to the
not
band The Cure.
Not related in any way.
They took, I don't like to give praise too much to what I call the top 5 game developers, but
I'm counting down until you say something controversial regarding Pandemic.
No, but Matt Leacock actually took what was an arguably okay game, which was Pandemic, and actually turned it into a game that I find fun. It's fast. I can rattle through 3 games of this thing in one sitting and not be like, oh god, not again. Every time I play this with someone and I introduce this game to someone, invariably we lose. But here's the biggest point. We lose and everybody's like, oh, we were that close. I could taste it. But we lost. Can we play again?
Let me repeat exactly what he said in slightly different verbiage. And that is, this took a concept of a tired and over credited game system, which is Pandemic, which has been, it's being redone so much that in a few years from now, if not already, people are going to look down on Pandemic as they look on Monopoly now.
Yeah, Pandemic is the new Monopoly.
It's becoming the new Monopoly, and like that, there's a smidgen of some original thought, and it's disappointing that the best version of it is the one no one talks about, which is Pandemic: The Cure, which I totally agree. It is fantastic. It's fun. It's quick to set up, quick to play. But the most important thing is you don't feel like you don't feel as downbeat and as depressed afterward. You actually feel like you're enjoying a cooperative game rather than feeling depressed by it.
Yeah, and as much as we may, as much as one of us hates die rolling, or at least the randomness of die rolling, honestly, I think the die rolling is what makes that game fun.
Yeah.
Because it gives you that chance of... Because in the original Pandemic, it's like, well, I've only got 4 choices. I can't go there, because if I go there, then that outbreak's going to happen, so really, Whereas with the die rolling, it's like, Yahtzee, okay. Well,
the important
can't do anything with that.
The important thing about that game, in my opinion, is that Pandemic, the base game, its entire difficulty is entirely based on a random shuffle at the beginning of the game, which you have only once... You shuffle it, and that'll determine a lot of the difficulty going into the game. Yeah. Where this game, it is a lower random variable, and because there's multiple random variables, each one doesn't affect you as much. Yeah. Where one single random variable can tell you if you're going to be winning that game or not. Where in this game, it's simply a set of dice that you roll each time. One die roll isn't going to kill you, but one deck shuffle can.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I find about this game that's hilarious is that the expansion for it, which gives you even more dice and costs more than the base game, believe it or not.
Oh, there have been some wicked sales for experimental games.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it for as low as $10.
Yeah. And, well, originally when it came out, it was more than the base game. But they give you a way to make the game harder. I'm like, I haven't won the first one yet. Why do I need to make it harder?
I lose a Pandemic and I want to throw the game across the room. I lose a Pandemic: The Cure and I want to play again. That's the distinction. So that is number 1.
Pandemic: The Cure.